reparationsnowdoc.com. That's reparationsnowdoc.com. You don't want to miss this groundbreaking documentary. We are going to make history here and right now. reparationsnowdoc.com. Also go to our e-commerce store at etnmediagroupstore.com. That's etnmediagroupstore.com. As always, thank you for your support, peace, and reparations. The Road to Reparation show coming soon. All hands on deck. Get informed, get involved, take action.
Emend the Mass Media Group is California Capital's premier YouTube channel focused on reparations, dedicated to political advocacy and unapologetically aimed at shining a spotlight on our righteous justice claim for reparations.
Particularly since the broken promise of Reconstruction and the injustice, human right to self-determination with a renewed spirit and energy that enables us to freely determine our political status and to pursue our economic, social, and cultural development via comprehensive reparatory justice policies.
That was excellent.
And I would just like to say that as we move forward to Reggie Jones Sawyer and
on the Supreme Court of the United States of America is meeting to tell us, even as we meet, that affirmative action should be no more. I say to you, my teacher and friend, Dr. Martin Luther King was right when he said in that class in social philosophy in 1962, if America and California, I would say parenthetically, has done mean, unjust things to the Negro, it must organize and do good things with the Negro for the benefit of the Negro. End of quote. That sounds like reparation. That sounds like affirmative action.
We need it. We need attention. We need the reparation. And please, 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 thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for your testimony this morning. Our next speaker should be either Elizabeth Jackson, Walter James.
For inviting me to give testimony on this final day of reparations task force meeting. I also want to recognize my council member, Council President Pro Tem, Monica Montgomery Stepp from San Diego, who represents.
I'm not sure where number 24 is. You're good. Okay. On behalf of Burgess family.
to the record button, just to let you know. All right, brother, can you say your name, please?
Reggie Romain, a.k.a. Double R.
Double R. All right,
Yeah.
where does double R come from?
Just my initials, Reggie Romain, and people just start calling me Double R.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, when they start calling you double R?
Oh, probably about a good 20 years ago. Yeah. When I was riding motorcycles, yeah. When I had a bike club, they called me
really?
Double R. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope, man. You want to talk about your bike club real quick?
Well, yeah, man. We was I founded it and created it, and man, we was just riding for fun, a family type of bike club scene. We wasn't no one percenters, which is the outlaw. We was just a family bike club that just went out and ride our bikes with our wives and kids, and just had picnics and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right, dope. Are you still into bikes or more?
No, I retired after my knee went bad, so I can't get on my bike no more. So we're just sitting on the side of my house.
Okay. All right, dope, man. So, before we actually get into the reparations bill, man, just let the people know a little bit about yourself. You want to tell the people like where you're from, and then where your family's from.
Okay. Well, yeah, I grew up in Los Angeles, California. But my people, my father is born in Pasquistan, Mississippi, and my mother was from New Orleans, Louisiana.
All right. And so, when did they end up migrating out to the West Coast?
In 1964, when my oldest brother was born here. He was conceived in Louisiana. No, actually, they didn't even make it here. They stopped in Vegas and had him, and then they came, and my brother older than me, born in 65, he was born in California, and I was born in 66 here in California.
Okay. So why did your family move out to California?
Oh, better way of living. As far as them being in New Orleans and Louisiana, they thought they would have a better fair share at life with the jobs and stuff. So my mother worked the post office for about 30 years, and my father never did really work. But my mother would really, she the one who raised her 3 sons by herself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to go into it, but if you don't mind, just you want to tell the people kind of like how you were raised, and just a little bit about your upbringing.
Oh, well, the upbringing, like I said, I didn't have a father. I can count on one hand how many times I saw him, but mom's, like I say, worked the post office and, in South Central, the streets right there. So, you know what I mean? So we got, suckered into the life or the living back there in the hustle game, especially when the cocaine hit us in the 80s. We all started going to jail. Actually, we all went to jail, and I thank God I never went to prison. My brother right now got 27 to life about 4 or 5 years ago when he was in his 50s. So pretty much he's done. We got an appeal coming. Basically tomorrow, thank the Lord, is this appeal date. If they don't respond by tomorrow, they got to kick him loose. They gave him a 27 to life on his first offense, and which was a manslaughter, which only carries 3 to 7 years. But they gave him 27 to life because he fought his case for 33 years, which is not heard of. My brother real smart. But my other brother that was older than the one that was just older than me had caught a case in 2011, and he wound up getting a staph infection. He was sentenced to 10 years. He got a staph infection and he died like about a year later. He would have been out by now, like I say. Yeah, yep, right, yep. Actually, his birthday we celebrated on the 24th last week. So, so that was that's our friend. My 2 cousins went to the penitentiary, but the Lord spared me from the penitentiary. When I caught my case, my mother wrote a letter to the judge and telling him to spare me from going to the prison. So I only did 8 months and 20 days in the county jail. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, bro. So you want to, since we're kind of talking about, mass incarceration, man, you want to, just from your perspective, want to tell the people, especially, during the crack era, right? Kind of how that experience and actually how that impacted the black community, specifically in Los Angeles. Because, didn't we have, who was Rick Ross? And
Freeway Ricky Ross, yeah.
Yeah,
I know him personally. Yeah, I got some dope from him as well. My family got some from him. But, man, it's still affecting the city today. That was the worst thing we ever did in our life, the way... we was young. We didn't know. We just looked at the money. But if you, when I went to jail, that's what turned me around. I looked at the effects that the crack was doing to people when I was in jail. And so when I got out, I said, man, I can't do this to my community no more. So I've been working a straight job ever since. But yeah, it really destroyed our community. Some people never survived it. You had some that, got killed over the drug war. Some of them locked up for life. So I thank God that I'm out here.
Oh, okay. So you mentioned, didn't go that way. So where did you end up doing? I know you saying you're cutting hair, but in between that time, was there something else that you were doing, or how did you get into the barber industry?
Oh, cutting hair. Well, I used to cut when I was like in high school. Was the bathroom barber. So like when I got out of jail, just county jail, I took that trade. After I was fired, I had a nice job working in L.A., working for Hostess Bakery, and they fired me. I was missing too much. But I said, well, let me take a trade up because I didn't really want to go to school after high school. So I did the 20-month apprentice program because I wanted to create something that I can make for myself. And I still had 2 jobs working for the white people, and that was my 3rd job. So I get fired for one. I started having babies then, so I had to look for another job. I always kept three jobs, because they just fire you, you know what I mean? And you got to, my baby's got to eat. We got to pay this house note, and but yeah, that made me take off into that to the barbering, and I was blessed to when we got our first home. One of the persons I was cutting, his wife had a shop in that area, so I worked there, and they sold it to me like 2 months later. So I had it since '97 for about 26 years now, 25, 26 years.
All right, congratulations, bro.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's great. So, man, in terms of, you cutting your hair and, so forth, how has that, transformed you, and is there any advice that you can give to, some other young brothers out there that want to get into the industry?
Well, it transformed me because, man, I just love working for my people. Compared to working for the white man, you got to be like them, talk like them, and, they don't want no real black person there. So when I find myself having my own shop, but just in that atmosphere when I first started, I just loved the scene. Because I was told that a barbershop is a black man's country club. That's where we can come and shoot the breeze or whatever. But my shop is both. I got a salon in the back and I got a barbershop in the front because I wanted to bring the men and the women together, which is great because we can get the woman perspective on things and they can get our perspective on things. But, man, it's nothing like working for your own people. I love it, yeah.
Now, you might know the history of barbershops here in the United States. I know it vaguely, but do you know, the history of especially black barbershops, the impact that it's had specifically here in America?
Well, I guess the impact is that, just like I said earlier, it's a black man's country club. It's a place we can escape and talk and be ourselves, other than when you're going out there working for the white man or whoever, man, you come in there and you can talk real black. You can be black, talk black, get all the updates on black. It's just a black atmosphere. And there's nothing greater than that, compare them to all other jobs I had, working for, of course, the white man is just nothing greater than that. You can give back, especially with the youth. You can talk to the youth and, you build a relationship with them. Like me, I've been there, like I said, 26 years. I done seen 3 generations. So you can see that man when he was young. I saw him, I was cutting him at 2, and now he's, 26. And he got a kid, you know what I mean? And I was cutting his father as well. So you see 3 generations as, years go by, and it forms like a family. They come in there and everybody's just like family.
According to nationalbarbers.org, in the 19th century, barbershops, industry-changing shops arise. Though it's hard to put an exact date on the first black barbershops, it's said that it was during the atrocities of slavery in the 19th century when black barbers were first introduced to America. Because slaves were unjustly and inhumanely considered to be property, they were subject to the whim of their owners. One of those whims was being leased out to local establishments and neighbors that specialized in the grooming and barbering care of white men. Even when black-owned shops did eventually rise as slavery fell, these shops were still mostly catering to a white customer base. As such, it was difficult for a black man to approach a black barber to reap the benefits of their skills. At the time, this was considered an economic necessity, catering mostly to white people. This, however, began to change as time went on. In 1933, during a depression and the Jim Crow era, Henry Miller Morgan opened the nation's first African-American barber college on Orange Street in Tyler, Texas. So, I guess let's kind of get into the reparation space. All right. So, I mean, you talked about community and so forth. I know we had a little conversation about reparations. How did you get involved into the movement, and what first initiated you into the movement?
Well, once again, barbershop talk. Everybody talk about reparation. I'm like, where? So I did a little research, and I went on there to the website, and I saw that they was having a meeting in Oakland. So
Are you talking about the task force?
The task force. I wanted to know what it was about.
Okay.
So I mean, I didn't know that you can watch it on your thing, whatever. But I wanted to be a part of it just to hear what they were saying. And when I got there, I had to get stuff to get off my chest, and I just felt like naturally just talking to these people about, the frustration I had for ever since I watched the movie Roots. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us now to get stuff out of us. You know what I'm saying? Or the anger and stuff to be able to express it. And now we got a platform. People really listening.
My name is Reggie Romain. I'm from LA, born in 1966. My question is this: where did you guys come up with these years? And you stop at 77. We going through traumatic racism today. We getting knees on our neck today. So why you stop at 77? In 84, we got news about Oliver North and about the Contras. I personally bought dope from Freeway Rick. I did my time to society. In 84, we had mass incarceration, red line and everything still in. Why would you cut it off at 77? We need it to today. And another thing is what about our ancestors, my mama, my grandma, my brother, that's not here no more? Where their money gonna go? Is they gonna get the same reparations too? We need these questions answered because a lot of people, I have a salon, I've been in business for 25 years. My thing is at this, at 420, 1 year, which is Hitler Day, in Temecula, California, I moved away from LA. My business was vandalized from KKK members' initiation day. A police person that I cut his hair when he was little told me, he said, you know what today is? Today is Hitler initiation day. They hit 2 black businesses then. So I said, we still going through stuff now. So why are you gonna cut off at 77? I don't understand. I thank y'all for hearing my words, and black people power to it.
Thank you. Next commenter.
So I think I missed one, the last meeting, but I've made every one ever since. I went to Dago, went back to Oakland. I went to Sacramento a couple times. I mean, now I'm here again. You know what I mean? It's nothing great. And then to get around the people that you meet, they got the same interests as you. And it's like, you can't go wrong. It's just great to come here and just to rub elbows and talk to brothers. Like this brother here, I met him today. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we talking about this, and like we can talk for 10 years straight about this one situation. Of course, we're going to put everything else in, but the bottom line is our struggle. Yes. You know what I mean? And we all know the struggle we went through. So therefore, and then, of course, we got everybody coming with solutions, which I like to hear because my violin strings is broke. We got so many atrocities from this thing here, man. I'm tired of hearing about the wickedness they done treated. Now, how we gonna solve it? Actually, the solutions, of course, but how we gonna resolve it? You feel me? So what's the resolution? So I like to get with the brothers how we can get the resolution about how we gonna finish this and make it better. You understand what I'm saying? Because like I say, my violin strings is broke. I'm tired of hearing about these crackers doing what they did to us. But the worst thing that I heard through this whole study, and I had to go back in December I came, I think I was at meeting, meeting 8 or something, whatever. So I had to go back all the way to the first one to see what they was talking about. And I listened to them every day. I started watching Judge Mathis. That was hard too. And I would watch this all day. But I would listen at the atrocities and everything. But the one atrocity that killed me was the 3-year-old girl who found the penny in the dirt. White man usually hanged us about 2 weeks maximum. They hung this 3-year-old girl for 3 months just to let us know that y'all can't even touch money, a penny, a coin. So I said, wait a minute. So I just started digging into it like I just couldn't stop. It was nice. I couldn't even sleep. God told me, get up, go watch this, go watch that, go. The meeting coming up. You got to get ready. Even when I finished the meeting, get up. I couldn't even sleep for 24 hours. So I knew it was in me that I had to study. I had to get into politics because I ain't like politics. But messing with CJAC, your boy Chris, I give props to him, and Friday and Chad. When I started this, they interviewed me my first time, and I had to get into politics. That's what made this political party, the 1619 Reparations Party, which is not Democrat and not Republicans, because I see that we voting for them for 160 years and they ain't gave us a biscuit. So to us, like me, we chasing a tail like a dog. Keep running trying to be white when we ain't white. Why are we gonna act like them and we ain't even them? Matter of fact, we ain't even citizens here. So that's what got me to the area to where, and Madam Chair that just left, she studied universal international law, the UDHR, the what is it called? What is the
the international reparations?
Yeah. What is it? It's the UD Declarations, Universal Declarations of Human Rights. That's where we have to get them. We can't fight for civil rights no more. That old back in the days with Martin Luther King, we not even citizens and civilians. So that when we write that on there, they just throw that to the side. So now when we got them with the human rights, it's a whole nother ball game. So now we playing that chess with them now.
Okay. So you want to, since you mentioned 1619, you want to talk a little bit about the organization, how it got started and where it's going?
Well, yeah, I was just brainstorming at 3 meetings ago, whatever, and I said we got to come up with something to stop getting on the coattails of the Democrats and Republicans. So I said we got to start our own party. They said, the Republican Party used to be black. I said, well, it wasn't, and I had to think of a name. Mm-hmm. So I said, what name would make it so white folk would never take it? First of all, they never want to see these numbers, 1619. This is when the first sin came. And of course, they never want to talk about the word reparations. And then I made it a party. I put the red for 1619 for the blood that our ancestors went through. I put reparations for the green because we want money and land. And then I put the blue because we're going to have water and air rights as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man, so what is reparations to you?
It's about repairing. To me, it's about total repairing. And that's what I said. I think that I made the analogy today. It's like when you stole us from there, you married us. When you came here, you put the last name America on us. We was Africans. So now we married to you.
Okay, we will move on. Reggie Romain, good morning.
Good morning. Final lap. This the final lap of this here, this reparations task force. I appreciate y'all, but y'all opened up a whole can of worms. I'm gonna tell you this, reparations is about repair. To me, I qualify. I'm gonna tell you how you repair this. First of all, America, from the evidence that they gave us, you're guilty. We in 1619, we was eating foo-foo. You kidnapped us, put a hate crime on us. That was the first one. Then you came here with all the other atrocities. When you brought us here, you raped our men, women, and kids. So therefore, you married us. Don't treat us like no cheap piece of meat. So therefore, our last name is American. So now it's the time for a divorce. What do you get in divorce? You get half the money, half the land, alimony, child support, attorney fees, and everything else. So that's what we want. And I tell you this, go to onepercenters.org. 1619 is the new party. Forget these Democrats and Republicans. We all black, and we going for blackness, and we gonna go give reparations. Anybody from 1619, first day as a president, will give reparations.
Thank
you. Ain't no Obamas, ain't no more.
Thank you so much.
And power to the people.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out this morning.
So now it's the time for a divorce. And what happens in a divorce? When you win. We got all the evidence that they gave us through the study. We won. So we're going to get half your money, half your land, we're going to alimony, and we want child support. Child support can be anything as far as just even having CRT in K through 12. We being able to give our kids a history of black study on which they're genociding our kids because they don't even want them to know where they came from. So in a nutshell, that's what the party is about, and it's about no reparations, no vote. That's just how we doing. That's on the back of my shirt. We vote propositions only. So that's letting them know that you're not going to sell us all for throwing this in our face, and then at the end of the day, we see it's a year away from election, you want to vote. So I'm telling everybody, put your name on that and vote for yourself, because we tired of voting for them when they ain't gave us nothing.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bro. So 1 or 2 more questions.
Yes, sir.
You know, we're going into this reparations legislation, man. What are you looking for? What kind of bills and policies are you looking for? You know, the descendant community, for the enslavement community here in California. Where do you see that? And I actually got another question I thought about the prisons, but I'll get to that second. Legislative wise, what are you looking for?
Well, I'm looking for straight hate crime bills with an S. Everything that's a hate crime to us, it can be from not just hanging us or brings over here. Now it's like you can't get a loan, you can't do this. You know, white people just look at you, you get to the back of the line on this. All this is hate crimes. All these hate crimes that still matter here in society that would make us look like, you know, like we ain't nothing. So they've been doing it, they still doing it, but a lot of things that people think is not a hate crime is a hate crime. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Karens. That was a hate crime. She reported a guy who didn't even do nothing. I'm going to call the police on you anyway. That's a hate crime. As small as that. That brother could have went way bad for that brother. He could have had a warrant or whatever. That's what she probably thought. And he could have went to jail, or police could have just didn't like him and shot him and killed him. So we have to make some changes on the smallest hate crime toward our skin to the biggest.
We want that cash too, brother.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So,
No, that was just, no, you talking about the cash. I told you we getting half of everything. Cash is first. The land, you know what I'm saying, alimony. Alimony is some more money. That's going to give us money throughout the month. You know what I'm saying? First half the money you made off us up top since 404 years ago, 1619. Then we need alimony. We need payments every month. Then we need our child support. We need our kids to be able to, like I said, HBCUs. You feel me? To be able to study HBC, not just a U, but all the way from K through 12. Historical black schools from K through whatever to doctor programs. Now, that's my vision. You feel me? Yeah.
All right, so let's go into, because I know you briefly mentioned, and I can't remember where you mentioned about prisons. I know it was in one hearing. You said something about prisons being emptied out. I guess they were shutting down some prisons. You want to kind of elaborate on that when you were talking about, you know, the shutting down of these prisons?
Sure, good question. I made sure I hit Reginald Joyce Sawyer was bragging that he closed 2 prisons down. And he just was tooting his horn up there. I was like, well, give us them prisons. You genociding in jail. We leading at first, second, and third strikes. If you call it a rehabilitation center, how is we leading all the 3? So that means you're not rehabilitating us. So I said, give us those jails. Let us take our prisoners from your system. Let us build our own staff. We got the resources from whatever to be able to rehabilitate them ourselves and show them agape love that we know that we can get them up out of there and they can be a positive influence in our community. That's all I was telling him. So at the end of the day, I found out it's 10 closed ones. We want half of them. So we want 5 for us. So we can you got to release our prisoners because it's genocide. We're dying, and just like I told you about my brothers, they both about to pretty much going to die in there. You feel me? So to me, that's the way they're killing us. It's not about being a slave no more in jail because white people in there slaving, Mexicans in there slaving, Chinese and natives. They in there working too. They don't look at us as being no slave no more. They want to kill us. So I think that's where they going with it. So I want to prevent that. So let us rehabilitate, put them on our own land. That's the first land I wanted to get first, was those prisons. And we can build another 600 acres around it so they can have areas to be able to build stuff and be able to have skills to when we let them out and they get back into the main population.
All right, facts, bro. All right, man. So can you let the people know where they can reach you, specifically the 69 Reparations Party? Do you have like a website?
Yeah, well, well, the website you have to go to onepercentage.org, ONE percentage.org. Okay, and you can go on there and you will see the 1619 Reparations Party, but not only that, it has the Article 5 convention, which is when we can sign, we get 3/5 of our signatures here in America, we can have and form our own self-governance, our own self-determination, our own sovereign society, sovereign nation. So just like the Native Americans. So if you go onto that site, that's the key thing. Read it, sign it, and pass it on.
Anything else you want to say, bro, before we close it up?
Oh, man, I just want to give props out to C-Jack, you and your partners, man, your posse. Y'all had the fire that lit me. Just seeing you guys work, going over y'all coverages and the questions and make it so transparent for us to understand the process of this reparations task force study, that it just made it so easy for us to, like first grade or kindergarten could have understood it, like you guys broke it down to us, and I appreciate y'all for that. Salute.
Because the world is getting ready to hear us right now. Answer my question. What do we want? When? 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 What do we want? Thank you.